full of my knowledge. Don't worry about will I be known. Let's see how much of the earth is going to know me. The earth shall be full of the knowledge of the Lord Yahweh, as the waters cover the sea. Isaiah chapter 11, verse 9. Tonight I want to share some beautiful words with you. And it's called, In Order to Live in Heaven, There is Something You Must Do. In order to live forever, there is one thing you must do. In order to live forever, there is one thing you must do. I'm hooking up dry bones. That's not enough. After I put the sinews on your dry bones, still not enough. And after I put skin and flesh over your dry bones, still not enough. But after I call upon the four winds and cause the breath of life to enter you, then you shall stand up an exceedingly great army and live eternally. And what is that you must do? What is that breath of life? Charity. You must be charitable. Now, you cannot be charitable until you learn what it is. The fact that I've given you the key to life means you have to take the key and use it. And you're going to have to open the door and walk in and be charitable. And when it comes to charity, in 1 Corinthians chapter 13, beginning at verse 2 through verse 13, it makes it very clear that though you may have the gift of prophecy, that's not enough. And many people would love to be a prophet of Yahweh, and they wish they understood how Jeremiah and Isaiah and Ezekiel got their vision and message, and would love to have been the recipient of a direct message from Yahweh so that they could have been a prophet. And now you're learning that though you have the gift of prophecy, that's not enough. That won't get you into heaven. See, the prophets didn't make it to see me. Let's go to that scripture which says, and all the good men and righteous men, they wanted to see this day. Matthew 13:17. The things that I'm doing, the prophets wanted to see. But being a prophet wasn't enough. Matthew chapter 13, verse 17, read.
For verily I say unto you, that many prophets and righteous men have desired to see those things which ye see, and have not seen them, and to hear those things which ye hear, and have not heard them.
They haven't heard what I'm saying to you. So though they had the gift of prophecy, can you see it wasn't enough to see me? It didn't qualify them to see what you're seeing. And it didn't qualify them to hear what you are hearing. Yet they desired to see and hear what you are seeing and hearing. So though you have the gift of prophecy, I'm repeating, that's not enough to live with me forever. And even if you're so wise that you understand all mysteries, it's not enough. And I'm sure many of you have had some astonishing questions in your mind. Huh? I mean, things that have been a mystery to you all your life. And I said, though you understand all mysteries, still not enough. And even if you have all the knowledge that this world has to offer, it's not enough. You still cannot have eternal life with all knowledge. It's not enough. See, I'm deeper than that. I'm deeper than all knowledge. Wait a minute now. You deeper than all knowledge? Yeah. Oh yeah. I have qualities that's deeper than all knowledge. It's broader than that. I mean, now imagine you're able to look down in time and see things before they happen. That's prophecy. Huh? And if you have that gift to look down throughout eons of time, that's still not enough to even see me or be in my presence to hear me. They won't qualify. Sitting in this auditorium with my body is not enough. You know, this is incredible. I said it's not enough. And if your mind can unfold every mystery of this book and see into and penetrate every single mystery, I said it's not enough. And I don't care if you have an eidetic memory, that anything that you read, see, or hear is there indelibly, cannot be removed. And you have all knowledge. I said it's not enough. Think on it. I mean, these are things that people be praying for. They go to college for. They pay all their wealth trying to get some knowledge. You know, do you know how much sacrifices people make to get a degree of knowledge? Huh? Some people will do anything. Some women will sleep with the professor to get an A. She doesn't know anything, but she'll still sleep with him to get a grade. Come on. But if she's serious about it and actually learn it, think about this. If you had all knowledge, can you imagine walking around how much of a peacock you would be? Can you imagine how swell-headed you would be? I mean, some of us have the swell head and don't know anything. We learn 3 or 4 words that somebody else does not recognize, and we get the big head. Huh? Anybody seen people like that? Hey, don't let them know 4 or 5 words you don't know, honey. They have the big head. But what if you know all the words? From A to Z. I said it's not enough. And if you have enough faith to remove a whole mountain range, it's not enough. I mean, now you got some faith. When you got so much faith, you can say, you know how big a mountain is? You can't move a rock by yourself. You got so much faith, you move the whole mountain. Remove mountain into the sea. And the mountain run and jump in the sea for you. It's not enough. That's powerful. I mean, you can just faith. I said mountain, move into the ocean. And it said, yes, sir. And run and jump in the ocean. That's not enough. You still are nothing. And even if you accumulate all the goods of the world and give it to the poor people of the earth, it's not enough. I'm talking about no more hunger on the planet and no more people in need of anything. And you gave every person on the planet his material needs. And I said, that's not enough. Still don't qualify to enter heaven. And you know that would really make you cry. You had all the material of the earth, and you gave every poor person and fed every poor man. You gave them all the goods they needed and all the food they needed, and no more millions of people are dying in hunger in Ethiopia, and you went over and fed all those people and kept them all in good health. I said that's not enough to enter heaven. That still won't qualify you for eternal life. That's awesome, isn't it? And even if the enemy come to you and challenge you about Yahweh, and you give your body to be burned, it's not enough. That takes care of everybody who say, I'll die for Yahweh. Even if you die for Yahweh, that's not enough. Whether you hung, injected with some stuff to kill you, or they burn you in the chair, or whatever, that's not enough. See, that doesn't include folk who's scared of dying. Yeah. See, that's what happened to Judas. Judas was afraid of dying. That's what happened to the disciples. See, they were scared of dying. They saw their master was in trouble 1900 years ago, so they went to running for cover. Joining the enemy. Hey, I'm one of y'all. Hey, I don't know that man. I'm shoot. Hey, y'all just kill him. Don't be bothering me. I'm one of y'all. You know, hey, they all peeking around the corner watching him die. Hey. But even if you give your body to be burned, it's still not enough. You might say, well, why isn't that enough? My God, I give my life for Yahweh. Hey, he said, you still got a soul. That's just the body. I said, that's just your body. That's no big deal. I put you in the body. See, what about your soul? Your soul is what is incarnate in your body. So giving your body to be burned, not enough. Whew. So even if you do that, it still won't profit you anything. Even though you give your body to be burned. Even if you're long suffering, you just been suffering. I mean, you know, some of us know how to suffer. Some of us don't seem to be satisfied unless we are suffering. I mean, we got to have something to suffer about. I mean, I need something to give me pain. I need a pain to make it, you know, I need something that I can complain to people about. I have to be able to tell somebody how I hurt. I hurt here and I hurt there, and I practically hurt everywhere. Lord, I'm suffering, Yahweh. Lord, Yahweh, I've been suffering for such a long time. I mean, you have half the world feeling sorry for you. Not enough. Save me, Yahweh, because you know I've been suffering for you for a long time. Yahweh said, who are you? You know, Yahweh, I'm your suffering child. This is me, Yahweh, once more and again, down on my bended knees, your long-suffering child, calling up on you, oh Lord, help me in my suffering. Don't ask for the end of the suffering. Help me in my suffering. Don't want to give the suffering up. But no matter how long you suffer, it's not enough. And even if you're kind, everybody you meet, you're kind to them. It's not enough. And if you envy somebody, you know that'll mess you up. You know you're not going to heaven full of envy. And you can't claim you're all right if you have a puffed up attitude. If you're puffed up, that won't get it. If you behave yourself unseemly, you know you can't be in heaven. And even if you behave yourself rightly, it's not enough. And even if you behave rightly, or if you never seek to have your own but always share with somebody, it's not enough. Even though nobody can provoke you, it's It's not enough. Even though you think no evil by itself. Is that enough? For we know that people that prophesy, some of it will fail. And you may have life, but tongues cease to wag. And even if you have all knowledge, yet it shall vanish away. There's only one thing that's enough. What is it? Charity. Charity. Now, I happen to know that charity has a good side, charity has a bad side. Charity is like a tree of good and evil. It's not that charity is evil, it's that evil has been attached to charity. Hear me well. Charity itself is not evil, but evil has been attached to charity. Now that's a lesson way down in the future. I won't get into that with you tonight. I'm just giving you a little pre-knowledge. We'll get down to that. I don't know when. That could be next year. Even if I teach this every Saturday for 3 or 4 more years, I'll still be not at that point. I said, the keys to heaven is you must be charitable. Not practice simply charity. You must actually be charitable. Now, how many of you thought of charity as I did? Giving of alms, giving in an offering, philanthropy, right? That's the preacher's game. That's the leadership class game, whether they're politicians, educators, or whatever. Charity begins with generosity. You must be generous. Now that requires you to turn to the dictionary and let's start our lesson. Now most of us have never been generous in our life. How many learned in school to be generous? If you are nothing without charity, how could you go through 12 years of school and not learn generosity? No wonder you suffered hell all your life. Now I hope my YHWH University students have written down the word charity. Yes, sir. And generosity. Yes, sir. And I know tonight, tomorrow night, and all in your free time, you'll be studying what I have. Yes, sir. That means there'll be no playing, seeking foolish things, and anybody that is foolish, I know you'll be away from them. Yes, you that are serious, be off to yourself studying charity and generosity, because you're going to have to be generous to live with me. Oh, that goes for you too. I'm not just talking about you. Now, this means we're learning something here in a class with me that you can't learn in public education. And yet, if you have all the knowledge of all the colleges and universities of the world, you are still nothing. without charity. If you're not generous, you're nothing. Now, what it says is that the knowledge I'm sharing with you in here is priceless, and I don't know whether I should even bother with you in here with it. I probably should just keep it a secret. Maybe I should. Huh? Share it? Now, if I went to a public school in America and all of them together, they wouldn't want to hear nothing about generosity. It would be alien to them. Yet, in order to be something, you must be generous. Now, how many of you thought generosity was what I thought it was? Being generous to me was giving you some of my pie, let you wear my shoes, let you have something that was, you wanted to wear was mine, let you drive my car. You ask me for $5 and I give you 10. Say, pay me back when you can. I mean, how many of us thought that was, come on, let's face facts now, come on. You're getting ready to learn you were not taught generosity. And if you were not taught generosity, then how could you possibly be generous? Generosity. No, give me generous first. Generous, that's the root word. Generous.
Generous, liberal in giving, munificent, unselfish.
See, right away, you lost. Munificent. Come on, you want to pretend like you know what that is, right? I'm not going to bother you yet, but go ahead, then we'll come back. Thanks.
Free from meanness or smallness of...
Free from what?
Meanness.
Free from meanness. How many of us have been mean to somebody? Yeah, you know what mean mean. So then what are you? Are you generous? When you're mean, you're not generous. See, you can't live in heaven being mean. What makes my mind divine is that I challenge you and point out to you and accentuate certain things to you and point your mind in a direction that it would never take on its own. Oh yeah, I've used this same scripture in marriage ever since you met me, and you've never checked this out. You sit out there and look at people walk around. Isn't she beautiful? Isn't he lovely? I should have taken him for myself. I'm so sorry I didn't take her. Never look at this. But I said I'd come back, didn't I? Excuse me. Generous.
Generous. Free from meanness or smallness of mind or character. Large, abundant, ample, rich or strong in flavor.
Here's the synonym finder of generous. Give it to me.
Generous, bountiful, munificent, charitable, benevolent, beneficent, magnanimous, liberal, open-handed, large-hearted, big-hearted, altruistic, philanthropic, humanitarian, humane, public-spirited, other-directed, unselfish, disinterested, kind-hearted, kind, good, noble, honorable, lavish, unrestricted, unstinted, free-handed, ungrudging, extravagant, effusive, prodigal, obliging, accommodating, considerate, cordial, hospitable, abundant, bounteous, rich, copious, overflowing, plentiful, ample.
I've been out to Orient and back several times while she's working on that. What if we had been taught that and we were actually that? What if all of what we just heard was our actual character from a child? Generous is all of what you heard. Now, that's not all what it is now. You know, I teach you how to study, so I'm in the process. What I'm doing now is giving you an example of study. I'm giving you the example of study. And this is what I want you to inculcate. I'm more interested in you inculcating how to study, my method of study, than I am you memorizing this for the moment. It's more important that you inculcate my method of study than it is reading all of that. So let's proceed tonight with my method of study. You are nothing unless you're generous. You cannot live in heaven unless you are generous. This is not something that you read about. This is something that you must be. You must actually live every one of those defined, descriptive words of generosity, of just generous. Now go back to the dictionary part. Keep your synonym finder there. See, to study, you have to have your Bible, King James Version, Bible Interpreter's Dictionary. You need the Collegiate Webster's. You need a thesaurus. You need a synonym finder and a concordance. Those are your basic tools. Those are basic. Can't get along. You just can't begin to approach me without that. It's impossible. It's impossible to even begin to approach where I could possibly come from without those tools. Now, all of you as adults, see, you have to come back in my school. This is what Matthew 11:29, is it 11:29 is all about. See, this is called taking my yoke upon you and learn of my generosity. Now, if I didn't want you to live in heaven with me, I'd never teach you or give to you the keys of generosity. You've all read 1 Corinthians 13. It never dawned on you to be charitable or to be hospitable or to be what? And what was the first word I used? You must be what? No, before that. Charitable. And now part of being charitable is learning a shade of color. A shade of color of charity is generosity. You must be generous. Now go back to generous in the dictionary.
Generous, liberal in giving.
You must be liberal in giving. Now we only heard that in regard to church. Give all your money, be liberal in giving. And we only heard that in regard to money. You're going to learn that liberal in giving has to do with almost everything but money. Move to the next one.
Munificent.
Now, how do you spell that?
Munificent.
Look it up, please. And now look it up and put a mark by it as soon as you find it. Now go to your synonym finder. For magnificent. How many never heard of that word? See, when you come to my class, when you learn from God, you get to be a genius. See, you automatically become smart. I mean, here's a word for your vocabulary tonight. Munificent. Huh? You must be what? Munificent. So though you have the gift of prophecy, I'm repeating, that's not enough to live with me forever. I said, the keys to heaven is you must be charitable. Not practice simply charity, you must actually be charitable.